Step 1. Record a reaction video for the latest Ninjala anime discussion, which I haven't made yet. Step 2. After recording the reaction video, go to work for 8 hours. Content grind never stops, people. But you know what? I'm down. Let's go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all the core gamers out there. CAJ Man 777 here, and welcome back to another Ninjala anime discussion. No crazy, ridiculous, funny intro this time. We gotta talk about episode 12, because this episode was kind of fun. I wouldn't say it was as fun as last episode, but it was kind of fun. So, I hope you guys are ready. You guys are here to talk about the Ninjala anime. And we're going to get right into that, but of course, before we get into that, just do me a favor. If you guys are enjoying this kind of content on the channel, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button, as we're trying to reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And let's get talking about Ninjala Anime Episode 12, which is titled Hide and Seek with the Unknown. So, much like the last episode, this episode is featuring our 8 main characters yet again, doing, obviously, some outdoor training yet again compared to what they had last time, rather than having a competition to see who could use their survival skills to get back to the WNA Academy first, being in a 2-day out trip. We see all of our characters in a main little deserted mining town playing a wonderful game of hide and seek. And you might be wondering what the heck they're playing hide and seek, but you have to realize, I think hide and seek as ninja kids or ninja descendants is a great way to train, because it's a great way to learn ambush strategies. It's a great way to have everything else. And all the cast is like, are we really gonna play hide and seek? And I love the whole reaction from Bruce right at the beginning of this episode. Should be quite good compared to the last one as well. So it should be like equal, if not on par. Also, immediately title card.
今日の訓練はかくれんぼだ。
かくれんぼって。はあ、子供の遊びじゃないの？
かくれんぼをバカにするとは、やはり諸君はピーヨコちゃんだな。なあ、ピヨピヨ。
Ninjas are better at hide and seek.
の別名は忍び。
This is, if you're a real ninja, hide and seek is a great training for life and death scenarios. And you get some really funny interactions with the characters right at the beginning of the scene. And not only do you get a really interesting interaction with Van, you get Burton and Bareka kind of doing a little shrug emote. You get a lot of characterization here in a lot of the characters looking very confused. And of course, they are in a deserted mining town, so much like the last episode where we learned Van is afraid of ghosts. Lucy brings up the ghost story as well, and it just absolutely freaks out Van. Again, and that plays a big part in what happens later in the episode too, which I think is really, it's a really nice setup, I guess is the best way to put the beginning of this episode.
随分寂しい町だな。
ここはかつて鉱山として栄えた町。でも掘っていた鉱石が出なくなって、数年前に住民たちはこの町を捨てたの。
いわばゴーストタウンだな。
まさか。
まさか。
人が住んでいない町をそう呼ぶんだ。誰にも迷惑がかからないから、諸君はここで存分にかくれんぼをし。
バトルのせいで少しぐらい建物を壊しても OK よ。
Now, obviously, they're going to be using, obviously they're playing hide and seek, so it's going to be the seeker's job to find all their students and then obviously send them back to Amy and Bruce. Now, there are some complications that we'll get to later in the episode that makes it happen, but every student is getting 2 pieces of ninja gum. One is to craft a weapon that can hit people from far away, under the stipulations of the training, and the other one obviously is for gum Utsumi usage. It's weird that they need 2 portions of ninja gum to actually do that, so all the characters, they end up drawing straws to find out, of course, who is going to be, well, it!
かくれんぼの鬼はくじ引きで決める。
Oh boy. They're gonna continue to come through.
それでは鬼の番がここで100まで数える間に他の生徒はこの町のどこかに隠れるんだ。
We get a good glance of the space ninja that are overlooking this deserted mining town, and they play a massive role into this episode, and we learn some more stuff about them that I don't think we ever have before. Like, story mode chapter 1, we get a generalized idea of what they can do, but in this episode particularly, we see specifically what they're after, why they're, you know, why they're so, I guess, attached to the Ninja Kids, or more specifically, the Ninja Gum. And that's something we'll be discussing later. Van is it, and because of that, everyone gets to hiding, and everyone, you just see them run off. They all pop Ninja Gum, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of a unique shot, and they all kind of get, like, speed boost to run off while Van counts to 100. So, we don't get too much, you know, craziness going here. Van's just kind of walking around, but you can tell, after, you know, they all start hiding, that not everybody's hidden, for one. Emma's using the rooftops. Burton and Bureka are kind of walking together. Ron and Jane are together, which we see. Lucy ends up hiding on her own in a hilarious scene. But you're left Van, it leaves Van to walk the streets alone, right? It leaves Van to walk this deserted ghost town alone. And you can tell he's not comfortable with it at all, because he's got his arms like this. He's super nervous. He's super closed off. So he's incredibly nervous. But of course, then he runs into a giant bowl of ramen in the middle of the street.
よしみんなを
このどこかにゴーストが。
どうした？
あ、いや、その
Graffiti on the back wall too in the
ど
background.
こに隠れたんだ。なんだこりゃ。これは確か天ぷらそばか。いうことは正体を表せ。
Of course it would be Cafe.
お粗末に扱うな。それにあれは天ぷらそばじゃなくてたぬきそばだ。どっちでもいいね。見つかったら先生んとこに戻るんだぞ。
Ah.
買ってったらバカね。あんな目立つものに化けたりして、ここはおとなしく隠れるのが一番。
We get a little shot cutting over to Genryu's side then, as well in this episode, and he kind of is fixing up tea, and he's meditating with Goro and Gumchi, and suddenly Gumchi does the same thing that Gumchi did last time when the Space Ninja showed up, where Gumchi starts doing this erratic dance, almost kind of like Gumchi's in a trance. So, it's my belief that anytime the Space Ninjas show up, this is how the WNA or the main 8 cast are going to learn of the Space Ninja in general, besides what happens in this episode.
こうして茶を立てていると心が水面のように穏やかになるの。これぞ明鏡止水、茶道の心じゃ。どうしたガムッチ。落ち着け、茶の心じゃ。
Definitely has some sort of sixth sense that he's definitely connected to the Space Ninja in some way.
この前もこんなことが。これは一体。
Anytime the Space Ninja seem to show up, Gumchi goes erratic, which makes Gumchi kind of like a radar, I would say, to kind of locate the Space Ninja. Which is why I think in Story Mode Chapter 1 in the actual game, Van gets sent out, because I would assume something similarly happens where Gumchi goes ballistic and they send out Van to investigate in the actual game. So I hope maybe we get to see what ends up happening with that in the anime if they go forward and end up doing that. I think that'd be such an interesting idea. But somehow Gumchi is connected to the Space Ninja. Whether they came from the same meteor, maybe whether they're part of the same, I guess, alien organisms, I can understand that. Or maybe it's a connection that they have with the Ninja Gum, which is what draws the Space Ninja and Gumchi so close to the WNA and the actual Ninja Academy. And I'm starting to think that inside the bell that Goro had that successfully created the Ninja Gum, it wasn't just a bell that successfully created the Ninja Gum. There was something more in that bell, whether some alien DNA from the Space Ninja, whether of some of Gumchi's DNA, we don't know, and we don't unfortunately find out with that. But it's a really interesting thing to think about, that Gumchi and the Space Ninja are somehow connected, and I think the bell, what kind of drew the Space Ninja to this planet and Gumchi in the first place. Not necessarily the bell that Bureka gave, or that Bureka's dad gave as a gift to Goro and Bureka and Burton. Because I think the Space Ninja have existed and Gumchi have existed way before that, because remember, Gumchi crashed to Earth so many years ago. But I definitely think the Space Ninja have some sort of connection with ninja descendancy. And the powers inside the Ninja Gum, and therefore maybe even the powers of the Bell, have drawn the Space Ninja back to the Earth, and they're trying to seek out or reclaim, I guess, the power. Interesting thing to think about. And after that, we cut back over to Van, who enters a warehouse full of mannequins, and oh my goodness, definitely walking into this, it's very intimidating, and the way they shoot this entire, like, episode is kind of like a horror movie, where, you know, if in a horror movie the characters split up and bad things happen to them. Yeah, that's basically the whole concept of this episode. And as Van walks in to this old storehouse, which happens to have a bunch of mannequins, you can tell Van might have a little of a automaton phobia, or what is it? It's automonophobia is what it's called, and it's a fear of mannequins or a fear of human-like creatures. But that's not the kicker in this scene that makes me laugh. It's the fact that as Van walks into this, he's already nervous, but hiding in this warehouse, of course, is, well, it's Lucy. Oh, hell no. I know some people who are afraid of those. Oh, that would actually be creepy. And that's like the last we see of pretty much Lucy for the end of the episode. She gets a small little scene, but I'm so glad they did it how they did it, because now Lucy's getting a little bit of sweet revenge while having fun in her own way at Van from when, you know, they had their last excursion, and probably a little payback for having to sit and meditate for the long time. Then we cut over to Burton and Bereka, and obviously Burton and Bereka goes, Van will be coming if we don't hide soon, and Burton goes, don't worry, this place is so big, it's gonna take such a long time for him to find us, so we can find a spot. And Burton is so confident that Van won't get here fast. So, you know, they're just having an absolute casual stroll, and Ron and Jane are standing perfectly still in a broken down building. And they have a small little conversation with each other, and Ron's kind of being his stoic, cold kind of self, and Jane's trying to make conversation with Ron, but Ron's just kind of doing his own thing, and Ron goes, don't let your guard down. He's referring to Van. He refers to Van as a kid that's smart and full of energy, which he really is. And Ron also mentions we have more to worry about than just Van. And now we're getting into some of, like, the talk with the Oniwan Banshee and stuff, and Jane immediately knows what Ron's talking about as she mentions Alan's thugs.
あいつは勘がいいし体力がある。それに俺たちはバーン以外にも警戒しなきゃならない敵がいる。
アレンの手下たちね。
アカデミーに紛れ込めばアレンも簡単には手出しできないだろうと思ったが、こんな風に誰も見ていない場所でなら。アレンは私たちの正体に気づいているのかしら。まだ気がついていないはずだ。だが時間の問題だろうな。
Yeah, I doubt the Oniwan Banshee knew that was actually Ron last episode. But he definitely knew, and they were also after Burton and Bereka specifically.
バートンたちか。
あの子たちも命を狙われてるんでしょ。研究成果の忍者ガムも奪われて、このままおとなしくしているわけないよね。
あいつらはあいつらだ。まずは俺たちが生き延びることを考えよう。
We learned in the last episode that obviously Ron most likely learned of Burton's true heritage and learned, hey, the Oniwan Banshee are after Burton and Bereka based on what Ron told them so many episodes ago with saying, oh, they turned into the kids, and obviously the Oniwan Banshee ambushing them outside in the jungle was, I think, expected, at least to Burton. But initially, again, Ron questioned in the last episode, were they coming after me or Burton? And obviously it was Burton and Bereka because, again, they thought Ron and Jane died in the explosion. But after what happened last episode with Ron and Burton kind of going back-to-back, dealing with some of the members of the Oniwan Banshee, Ron and Burton kind of have, you know, a bit more of a connection. So They know, but I think Burton is trying to keep it under wraps as well. We still don't know what happened in that conversation yet between the two of them. So, obviously, they want to figure out what Alan's planning and then put a stop to it. And that kind of lines up with the goals that also Burton and Bureka and Genryusai working as a team. But Ron goes then to scout out back and is immediately ambushed. And his ankle is broken. Obviously, playing into the horror movie trope that, you split up, you get taken out kind of thing.
そうね。ラン大丈夫？
わからない。急に襲われた。
お庭番衆？
いや違う。はっきりとは見なかったが。忍者ガムがない。倒れている間に取られたようだ。
Ooh.
どうやら足を痛めたみたいだ。
What does Ron get attacked by? Well, of course, none other than the Space Ninja. Ron being taken out by a bunch of Space Ninja, as we see, are pretty much the exact same size as the kids. Ron, unfortunately, his ankle's broken. But he also notices that after he got ambushed, the Space Ninja took his ninja gum and they picked it off of him when he was down. And we learn to see what the Space Ninja want to do with that ninja gum a little bit later in the episode. This is where we cut back to Burton and Bureka says, "I've had enough with you, Burton," and goes to split up on her own self. Obviously, Bureka has a little bit of a lack of patience and inquisitiveness, and she then gets ambushed by the Space Ninja, and in a matter of a few seconds, she is beaten and down to one knee.
もうそろそろどっかに隠れないとバーンに見つかっても知らないよ。
いやいや、もっとじっくり検討してたな。
あっそう。じゃあ私は一人で行くわ。
Bureka's had enough. But when the main characters split up,
やれやれ
she's next.
気が短いというか、探求心が足りないというか。
As I said.
ベレッカ？なんだこいつら。ベレッカ。忍者ガムを。ベレッカ。あ、今度は僕か。ほら、お菓子だぞ。
They only want the ninja gum.
まあいい。僕がおとりになれば、こいつらをベレッカから引き離せる。こっちだ。
Finally getting some good looks at the Space Ninja, what they're really after. Space Ninja kind of seem more powerful than they actually are, even though they are considered just giant blobs of glue. And Burton runs in to see this. So Bureka obviously crafts a Nippon Katana to try and deal with them. And then we see specifically what the Space Ninja are doing here. They're all hovering over the ninja gum, almost kind of like worshipping the ninja gum before one of them consumes the ninja gum into them, which is such an interesting concept because it's something we don't see in the story mode chapter. All we understand is that the Space Ninja in the story mode chapter, they were kidnapping some kids. Obviously, they were like holding them hostage, like keeping them kind of like locked in buses and stuff like that, and it was up to Van to free them. But the fact that the Space Ninja, and especially seeing it in the anime, are specifically after the ninja gum makes me think that the reason they went after the kids in the story mode chapter is in case any of them had ninja gum, in case any of them are ninja descendants. In the Space Ninja's mind, all the ninja descendants might have ninja gum. So if they can take a bunch of kids, which most likely have the ninja gum due to the WNA training, and possibly even a connection with Gumchi at some point, it makes you think they have kind of like a hive mind and they are a larger group and a much larger threat than you realize, especially when they're coming after the ninja gum, which kind of strengthens my idea that whatever's in that bell might be what brought the Space Ninja back, or is what is part of the Space Ninja, and therefore Gumchi, whatever was in Goro's bell that made the ninja gum, which somehow power up the Space Ninja. I don't know, I think that's such an interesting idea. So obviously Baraka runs off not being able to do anything. Then we cut over to, I think, the most comedic scene in the episode, where you get Amy and Bruce, and Bruce goes, "You know I don't like pumpkin pie," and Amy goes, "Please, just try a bite first." And then we get a hilarious backstory with Bruce about his grandmother telling him a story about the great pumpkin, and waits out a night in a pumpkin patch, and it's really funny. No one shows up, and Bruce obviously gets made fun of for the rest of time. So a little bit of backstory onto Bruce, and that would explain why Amy is also growing pumpkins and part of the WNA Academy. You didn't think they'd ever call back to that with Van and Kappa arguing, "Hey, guess where Amy grows pumpkins in the WNA," in the episode where they introduced Ron and Jane. But no, it's true, and that's why Bruce is like, "Please don't mention the pumpkin patch." So then obviously Kappa gets kind of ambushed by the Space Ninja, and he gets taken out really quickly. They go after his ninja gum as well. Cut over now to Lucy, where the Space Ninja are kind of making their move on everybody. Lucy actually blows up the scrap saber. They're just after everybody.
あれがルーシーが言ってたゴースト？ちょっとガムッチに似てたけど。あ？
There it is! There's the scrap saber! But then we get to meet up with Ron and Jane. Or, I'm sorry, not Ron and Jane, Burton and Jane. And we get a little bit of a team up here that I honestly was not expecting. So I like this one, where Burton goes, "Hey, these creatures came out of nowhere and they got Baraka," and Jane goes, "Hey, they got Ron too." And they're questioning each other. "What are these things? Your guess is as good as mine." So the whole idea is, hey, we need to get back to Bruce and Amy because this is the problem. Obviously, they get surrounded by Space Ninja and they have to work their way to escape. I like this team up because now you've got one half of the very stoic Ron and Jane dealing with their own issues, and you've got the very intelligent half on the other side in Burton teaming up with Jane. And I like that idea.
ジェーン、バートン、ベレッカがやられたんだ。
ロンもよ。
何者なんだあいつら。
わからないわ。
とにかく早く先生たちのところへ戻ろう。
向こうよ。
ああ。
一旦隠れよう。ロンがやられるなんて。
仕方ないわ。不意をつかれたの。あんなのがいるなんて知らないもの。
でもロンは僕らと違って忍者の訓練を。
え？
ロンのこと知らないのか？
ロンのことって何を？
突然クラスに編入してきて。
Oh, there's the question.
何者って、私もロンも忍者になりたいだけの子供よ。あなたたちこそ何かを隠しているんじゃないの？
僕は何も隠しちゃいないさ。
あ、そう。
They have a conversation between each other, and it's such an interesting conversation. But Burton brings up, but Ron's not like us. He's already done ninja training. He already knows because Ron works for the Oniwan Banshu. So Jane kind of goes, "You wait, what? He already had ninja training?" And Jane's trying to play off. Jane tries to play off that Burton knows a little bit more, but obviously Jane knows as well. So Burton immediately asks the question, "What's the deal suddenly transferring to the academy like that?" He knows, and I'm guaranteeing you Ron told him, and we're not seeing what happened. We just can infer it. I want to know what happened in that conversation, because there's going to be, like, the biggest lore bomb in that conversation if they can figure it out. And what I like what Jane says here. She goes, "I got the feeling we're dealing with a similar sort of problem," which I really like. And they have to figure out pretty much a 3-step plan to escape the Space Ninja, who do indeed find them. And we learn that Jane had data management, and you know, Burton has the intelligence and patience kind of thing. So they're both really smart, and Burton goes, "Hey, we'll actually get along." Really cool scene.
私たちなんとなく共通の問題を抱えているような気がするのよね。もしあなたたち
We're not gonna get the answer to the question.
フェーズ1、まず自分たちが抱えている問題が何なのかをはっきりさせること。フェーズ2、それを解決するにはどうしたらいいか考える。そしてフェーズ3は、
それを行動に移すのみ。 かな。
分かってるじゃない。それが論理的な問題解決の道筋というものよ。
論理的ね。もしかして君もエンジニアなのか？
私の得意分野は情報管理よ。
They have a whole conversation off screen that we missed.
気が合いそうだ。
So the Space Ninja obviously end up trapping them in what I would assume would be the old storage unit's storage freezer. And they barricade the door, but this is where the three-step plan comes in, and I like the way they do the three-step plan. So the three-step plan is really cool. It's basically, what are we dealing with? How do we deal with it? And then, obviously, phase 3 is action. And we get a nice little flashback to something that happened in the beginning of the episode where Bruce specifically said, I want you to make a weapon that can deal indirect attacks to deal with the threat. So, as the Space Ninja are knocking on the freezer door, Jane thinks of a brilliant idea. You can use a gum weapon. Now, Burton mentions that they took the ninja gum off him, and we do see how he did lose the ninja gum. He tried to hide as a mailbox earlier, and the Space Ninja kind of saw through the Utsumi. Not like Burton wasn't moving or anything. The Space Ninja saw through it, so that's when they snatched the ninja gum while Burton was running away. So Jane only has the one piece of ninja gum left. So what Jane ends up doing is the piercing mixer, which unfortunately does not pull out a cake mixer like I thought they were going to animate, and I thought that was going to be hilarious, but they did not do it. But she pulls out a piercing mixer and knocks it through, obviously, the door, and it does completely eliminate the Space Ninja. Like, they actually vaporize, like they're actually defeated, which they are. That's similarly how they get defeated in the story mode chapter, besides, you know, e-poning them into a wall and stuff like that. But it seems like the ninja gum has good and bad effects to the Space Ninja. Like, it can deal damage to them, at the same time it can also power them up. Ooh! I like the track.
どうかな。
このままじゃドアを破られるわ。
フェーズ1。この扉はもうすぐ破られる。ここは冷凍倉庫で他に出口はない。僕たちは奴らがここに入ってくる前に奴らを倒さなきゃいけない。
フェーズ2、それを解決するには
I kinda like this team up.
ガムの一つで今回はぜひ間接攻撃が得意な武器を作ってみてほしい。
間接攻撃。
そうだ。先生が言ってたガムウェポンだ。
そうと決まればフェーズ3実行ね。
と言いたいところだけど、僕のガムはここに来る途中であいつらに奪われてしまった。君のガムで武器を出してくれ。
やってみる。
Yo-yo or trick ball? Which one? Are we gonna get the yo-yo? Scroll blade.
それだ。
ガム忍術貫通できた。
Okay.
すごい。
It's not the cake mixer. She just didn't pull out the cake mixer, but I'm down for that. That's clever, though. I love how they incorporated that into the actual anime. Burton and Jane, having claimed this victory, they make their way back to Amy and Bruce, who we find out ended up going to look for the other kids because they were taking too long. And everybody's beat up. That's pretty much how the episode ends, actually. There's nothing more to that, but Burton ends the episode by saying, it looks like I got something new to research. That's how the episode ends. I thought it was a good episode. Did I think it was better than the last episode? Absolutely not. I thought the last episode had really good beats, really good storytelling. This one had good beats, good storytelling, but everything kind of felt sudden. But again, it's sudden because the Space Ninja obviously ambushed everybody. But I like the fact that we're now establishing, hey, there's the Space Ninja, they're in the anime now, you're really gonna have to figure out a way to deal with them. And we saw like glimpses of them in the last episode stalking the Ninja Descendants. I'm expecting that to go forward more as we go through with the episodes, because in the next episode, looks like they're going back to the jungle to do some cops and robbers. Funny how all these children's games we played growing up, or even if you didn't play them, is great ninja training. In terms of the Ninjala universe, that's just such an interesting idea. So I'm interested to see how the next episode plays out, but I really like this episode in establishing, like, that there's more to the Space Ninja than what we knew already. Why are they after the Ninja Gum? Why can the specific weapons from the Ninja Gum, like, completely eradicate them? Why are they powered up by the Ninja Gum? What was truly in Goro's bell? Why does Gumchi have a connection somehow to the Space Ninja? Like, what's the actual relationship? And still, again, what happened between Burton and Ron? These are questions that we don't know, and these are questions that get asked, and I'm just interested to see what they do going forward with this episode, because I thought it was good. I think the way they continue to tell the story of Ninjala, despite what we know in the game and outside the game with the anime episodes, I like what the anime is doing, because it gives us more, what feels like a prequel to everything that happens in the Ninjala game, but maybe not. Maybe it's happening during the same time in the Ninjala game. Obviously, Ninjala is kind of like, in the game lore, Ninjala is recognized as like an international sport for ninja descendancy. So I wonder if the anime is indeed a prequel. But there's so much going on with the Space Ninja being introduced, because in Story Mode Chapter 1, the Space Ninja kind of they established that, hey, these guys kind of came out of nowhere, and now you've got to deal with them. All we know is that they came from space. So it makes me think that the actual Ninjala game is happening in a similar timeline to what the anime is happening. It's not just a prequel. It's kind of like all the events either leading up to the Ninjala game, or all the events that lead up to it and are in the Ninjala game kind of thing. But yeah, I liked it. I liked the episode. I thought it was good. I thought it was neat. I liked the Burton and Jane team up, the two smartest characters, obviously having both their partners obviously be adults, and having the team up that I hope to see coming, and hope to see what they do with the Onimabashu and Alan, hopefully going forward. I don't know. I don't think that it'll ever be resolved, because in the game they're still kids. We don't, we have like loading screens of their adult forms. I think Burton has one, Bareka has one, and Ron has one. I don't think Jane has one, actually. I might be wrong, but obviously they don't turn back into adults in the game, so I wonder if they'll go and explore that in the anime at some point. Maybe if the anime wraps up and they do stuff like that, but who knows? I want to know what you guys thought about this episode, of course, down in the comments section below. Let me know what your favorite part of the episode was, as per usual, and let me know what you think the true connection is between Gumchi and the Space Ninja. I'd love to hear some of the wacky theories, or even the Space Ninja and the Ninja Gum. Let me put some of your theories in the comments section below. I want to hear some of that wackiness that you guys might be able to come up with. I think it'll be an interesting topic for discussion, especially in the generalized Ninjala community. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to, of course, hit that like and subscribe button, as we are on our way to 5,000 subscribers. We got, I don't know, about 2,500 to go, but I definitely think we can do it this year, and you guys have been giving some absolutely killer support to the channel recently, so thank you again, guys, so much for all the awesome support you guys have given to the channel. And of course, I will see you in the next video, and until then, this is CAJ Man 777 signing off. Stay safe, everybody.